Epic Universe is on track to open summer 2025, but for this new theme park to hit that target opening, construction is now going into overdrive. With ride vehicles showing up at several attractions, exterior wall finishings now being installed, and landscaping going on, this once dirt-filled work site is now resembling an actual theme park. Let's check in on construction for all areas of the park, as well as new permits and rumors in today's news update. Last month, Mark Woodbury, Universal Destinations and Experiences CEO, was quoted as saying Epic Universe will be the company's most technologically advanced park. He did mention a couple technologies to be utilized, including facial recognition. But he also spoke about another element for the new park, which he called the next generation of robotics drone technology. There have been rumors for flying dragons over the land at Epic Universe, and the company has a few patent applications that even talk about robotic puppets that utilize drone technology. This could be a way to make the Isle of Berk feel a bit more alive by having dragons flying overhead. And speaking of the land, which we believe will be named How to Train Your Dragon Isle of Berk, it appears that the seating for both of the Skyfly rides has been installed. These two flat rides will spin around at an angle while allowing riders to sway and even the ability to do barrel rolls while riding. Each of the Skyfly rides features a dragon on their counterbalance end, which will give the illusion that they're powering the attraction. We expect this ride to be named Dragon Racers Rally. Work continues to add theming and decorative elements to the area's roller coaster's station building. With wooden arch accents for the entry and exit and stone added to the two chimney structures, this dual-load coaster station looks exactly like the permitted plan image that was recently submitted to the county. New framing has gone up around this junction here, where the final brake run and the track switch to the maintenance building meet. It looks as though an arch and a wall is being added to block the view of the maintenance building from this area. Zooming in closer, we can see that a temporary safety fence has been added around the roller coaster itself. This may mean that we could see some type of ride testing in the near future, as the safety fence prevents anyone on site from being struck by a train. Looking even closer at this photo, we can see an envelope tester frame sitting near the coaster. This is used to ensure that no elements are within reach of riders. We expect this roller coaster to be named Hiccup's Wing Gliders. This family coaster will feature two launches, which are expected to be show scenes featuring Hiccup and Toothless. Wooden-themed framing is now going up around the first launch structure. From this vantage, we can see a steep angle that the trains will be launched out of this scene. The second launch is now completely covered in detailed rockwork, seen here behind what will be a kids' play area. While the building on the right of the play area is mostly for backstage utilities, the small side facing the play area will feature two small guest-facing restrooms according to permits. Near the center of the land, this structure, which permits call a retail location and candy store, has connections atop its roof for themed elements. A new permit image gives us a sneak peek at what these structures will look like. Themed as hillside covered in dragon houses, we can see that a complex set of structures are yet to be installed on top of this building. What may even be dragon tails can be seen sticking out of a couple of the birdhouse-like dragon houses. Some of the framing for the hillside theming for this structure is already installed behind it, connecting to the themed lagoon retaining wall. This part of the retaining wall features a unique cracked design. The centerpiece for the land will be the Mead Hall dining location, which is now being covered in rockwork and hillside theming of its own. Comparing what the structure looks like so far to its permit image, we can see how progress is being made, including the front door seen here. This structure will feature a large forced perspective mountain on top, and some of the supports are just starting to be installed on its roof. The indoor theater for The Untrainable Dragon stage show is now fully enclosed, and what looks like the design for its main entrance is being added. It's expected that there will be a meet and greet themed as stables located adjacent to the theater show. A new trademark application was just filed for Haddock Paddock that may be related to this future meet and greet space. In the space between the theater and the mead hall sits the land's outdoor boat ride attraction, which we believe will be named Fire Drill. The conveyor belt load platform can be seen along the ride's lagoon, and in front here is the ride's main entrance. Guests will enter under this wooden canopy. The little house on the right is listed as for utilities in the permits. Nearby is a quick service food window that will have outdoor covered seating overlooking the boat ride. Expected to be named Spitfire Grill, this location will have ordering and serving windows on the right, self-serve Coke Freestyle machines in the center, and guest restrooms on the left of the structure located underneath the themed windmill seen on the roof. Around the land's main lagoon, where the large statues sit, work continues on the entry pathways. After the concrete was poured, it looks as though real wooden beams are being added to these dock-like walkways. At the very front of the land, the portal into the Isle of Berk has received its tall beacon. New rockwork is being created, wrapping around both sides of this entry portal. The black areas of the portal may still be covered in dirt to make it look as though the entire thing is built into a hillside. Just outside of the Dragons area, within the central part of the park, which we believe will be called Celestial Park, some new movement has begun, which was unexpected. It appears that walls are being erected here, just beside the portal into How to Train Your Dragon. According to permit information, this was going to be the location of a food court-style restaurant with 476 seats. But in recent months, it was being shown as postponed. We had believed that this location was being put off as a Phase 2 project to open a year or so after the park, but now it suddenly appears to be under construction. And the construction, so far at least, matches the shape of the structure seen in the plans. Now, it is possible that the plan for this structure will be used differently than its initial food court design, which was originally rumored to be called Zephyr Market. As some of the Central Hub restaurants have slightly changed over the last few years of development, even if the shell of this location is built as designed, that does not mean the inside will. We'll be keeping an eye on construction progress as well as permit information for this structure. Work is picking up steam for the multi-purpose structures at the very front of Epic Universe, with the covered walkways taking shape, domed roofs being installed, and other decorative elements being added while this structure itself is being enclosed. Work has started on the park's main entry arch, which will connect to these two sides already installed. Up ahead, seen straight away after entering Epic Universe, work continues to prep pipes and pumps for a series of cascading waterfalls at the base of the park's central water features. This lower water feature, which is attached to a full-service restaurant with picture windows, appears to almost be like a reflecting pool. A bridge running through the middle of Celestial Park separates this lower water feature from the park's central water feature. To the right of this bridge is the large dual-track roller coaster, Starfall Racers, which has its entrance facing the park's central hub. The entry portal into this attraction is now being built, here on its left side. The back half of the ride looks to essentially be complete, as backstage paths and landscaping work has beautified the area. These paths could be used for emergency evacuations of the coaster, but otherwise would not be used by guests. The two arrows in this photo show a section of these paths that has not yet been completed. Once it is, it will connect the existing paths to the Q building. This area was one of the first for Epic Universe to receive trees, but now we are seeing trees planted in several sections of the park, including near the Dragons coaster and around a coaster in the Monsters area as well. Notices of commencement filed with Orange County show some of the tree farms contracted for this project. They list tree procurement as a type of work, with the contractor listed as several companies, including Huntsman Tree Supplier, Moon's Tree Farm, Select Trees Enterprises, and Bold Spring Nursery. Heading back into the center of the park, the ride pit floor for Constellation Carousel appears to be completed. Hopefully, we'll get a glimpse of some of the ride mechanics installed before the domed roof is enclosed. The large central lagoon continues to receive watertight walls around the carousel, which may make it almost like a large swimming pool. We can see the winding line of decorative fountains now embedded within this water feature. This small round section adjacent to the central water feature is expected to hold a kids' splash pad play area, which will mimic the large dancing fountains of the massive amphitheater-style fountain show behind it. We can see work continue to add shapes for the amphitheater seating around this massive basin. Work continues on another mystery building for Celestial Park, this one replacing the former Cassini restaurant. Permits originally referred to this new work as an outdoor food service location, but the actual construction continues to appear much larger than just that, so we may be seeing the addition of another indoor quick service location to this section of the park. New covered awnings are being installed in front of the full-service dining location we believe will be named Blue Dragon, located at the back of the park in front of the hotel. And exterior work is starting on the Oak and Star Tavern dining location, which sits just outside of the Monsters Land. The pizza restaurant we believe will be named Pizza Moon, and the connected hub-facing Nintendo store are even further along, and already appear to be receiving exterior paint. Moving on to Super Nintendo World, black weatherproofing has been added along the sides of the entry portal, which may mean it will be partially buried on this side. Zooming out, we can see that the exterior wall around the land is nearly finished. Painting of this wall continues around on the right side, with one section now painted green. Inside of the land, the first distinct curved shape of Peach's castle can be seen right above the castle's front door. This is where guests will enter the land after entering the portal and taking a warp pipe themed escalator up to the second level. Opposite the castle, Bowser's Fortress is looking imposing with all of its walls now enclosed and awaiting their exterior covers. This will be the entrance to the Mario Kart ride. The centerpiece of the land, Mount Beanpole, recently received its topping off ceremony. As the tallest part of Super Nintendo World, a flag was placed atop Mount Beanpole a few weeks ago. It appeared to be a Jolly Roger pirate flag, but did not remain in place for very long. Continuing around the land, themed elements for the Yoshi ride continue to appear, including several sets of pyramids. The furthest set is fleshed out with its signature tanned colors, while these other sets are still only the framing. Heading now behind this area and into Donkey Kong Country, the temple walls for the minecart coaster continue to receive work. This gray wall may be themed next to better match the golden temple walls behind it. These walls on the left side of the area have been covered in connection points to receive themed prefabricated sections. The framing for this snack stand kiosk has gone up, and plumbing hookups are being installed now. There are currently 2 envelope test vehicles visible on the track right now, both making their way around the circuit to ensure that no themed elements or structures are within the rider's reach. Getting a better look at this cart, which has been tethered to a spot on the track outside, we can see that it is one of the actual ride vehicles, but covered with cloth. The envelope reach apparatus has been attached around this covered vehicle for testing. From this angle, we can see how it appears that the cart is riding along the minecart track, with the cartoony railroad ties. But these are false wheels, and not actually what is holding the train up. Flipping our view around to see the other side, we can see how the cart is being held up by a large arm, which itself is attached to this sideways track below the false track. A series of wheels help this section of the vehicle grab onto the rails, which can be seen just barely in the previous image, hiding below the false track. Set pieces, landscaping, and some visual tricks will be employed to help hide the backside of each of the minecarts from view of guests within the area. But as you can see, the outside sections of the ride were designed to mostly only allow the good sides of the carts to be visible to onlookers. Over at Dark Universe, the land based on Universal Classic Monsters, the entry portal continues to receive highly detailed rockwork and paint. Zooming in, we can see the intricate paint along these tree roots wrapping around the portal entry into the land. To help guide the artists, a couple test samples for the final work can be seen on the ground nearby. Moving into the land, the village of Darkmoor is receiving some exterior walls, revealing structural details like this arched window. The framing for a series of towers and angled roofs can be seen atop the land's main dining location. The area's second dining location, a windmill-themed restaurant expected to be named the Burning Blade Tavern, continues to receive extensive exterior theming. Test samples for the brickwork, pathways, and even the location's roofing tiles can be seen on the ground nearby. The framing for the windmill structure itself atop the roof is a mess of frames and scaffolding, looking much more complex than in our last check-in. A meet and greet area for the various classic monster characters is rumored for somewhere in this section of the land. A recent trademark for Monster Treffen may be related to this meet and greet space. More trees have been planted around the area's roller coaster attraction, expected to be named Curse of the Werewolf. These new trees appear to help block the view of a future backstage path. Holes for the planting of more trees can be spotted near the barn-like structure at the center of the roller coaster attraction. A sample of what this barn's roof may look like when finished can be spotted on the ground next to the structure. The similarly designed structure for a snack kiosk, expected to be named DeLacy's, can be seen nearby, located between the coaster and the area's main ride. Expected to be named Monsters Unchained: The Frankenstein Experiment, the main ride's entry path along this small bridge is receiving themed details. Spooky brickwork is now visible to the right of the main ride's large manor facade, and detailed brickwork can be seen also spotted on the manor's central tower. This opening on the right front of the manor is for the ride's exit gift shop, according to permit information. We can also see some work progressing around this exterior Kew Garden area behind the manor, and there are a few test samples seen here as well. At the back of the building, what appears to be a Kuka ride vehicle is being brought into a door. This is a similar type of ride vehicle as the ones at Harry Potter in the Forbidden Journey. While we had seen Kuka listed as a contractor for this attraction in permit documents, this is the first time we've been able to see one of the ride vehicles itself. Over at the park's Wizarding World area, the architectural details for the entry arch behind the land's portal are looking more and more like the real Porte Saint-Denis Arch in Paris. This side-by-side comparison gives you an idea of what the final product may look like. Inside of the land, we can see some of the more finished details starting to appear within this little side street alley. Since there is not enough room for scaffolding in this little area, it makes it easier to track the progress along these building facades. At the end of the land's main street, we can see new theming details being added to this false facade structure here. Behind this area, the tower seen here will be made to look like a forced perspective version of the real Sacré-Cœur Basilica in Paris. This concept art from the second Fantastic Beasts film gives us an idea of what this dead-end section of the land may look like from the ground once complete. This overview gives us a good idea of just how large the building is for the Wizarding World's main attraction, which will be an indoor ride through the British Ministry of Magic as seen in the original Harry Potter series. Attached to that structure will be a smaller indoor stage show attraction. The empty space seen on the bottom right of this photo is all for expansion of the Wizarding World land. It is possible we could see construction begin on something for this area as soon as the main land is nearing completion, as this land is rumored to possibly receive the park's first expansion in 2026. The hotel at the back of the park, known as Project 910 in permits and expected to be named Universal Helios Grand Hotel, is now working on its 7th floor. The hotel is expected to have 10 floors total and will offer 500 rooms. The first section of exterior work has started on this side of the hotel facing the theme park. The arrow in this photo is pointing at an element of decorative molding around the top edge of the structure. Around the other side, opposite the theme park, the awning over the hotel's front entrance and lobby area is taking shape. Additional exterior elements can be seen installed on this side as well. Moving across the street in front of Epic Universe, the other two hotels, known as Project 913, seen on the left, and 912 on the right, are expected to be named Universal Terra Luna Resort and Universal Stella Nova Resort, and each will contain 750 rooms. The main structure for the Project 913 hotel on the left is nearly complete. Framing for the awnings along the backside of the hotel, which faces Universal Boulevard, is being installed now. The backside of the Project 912 hotel has already seen its pool area formed and is now having its back sections enclosed. The work to install the reflective tiles has begun to wrap around to the front of the building, with some tiles now installed along this side. Zooming in, we can see how the lattice which the reflective tiles are attached to is shaped around this smooth section of the building. This is likely where the tiles will end. A similar cutout shape can be seen on the right side of the front of the building as well. And before we wrap up today's massive update, here's another check-in on the traffic circle ramp for the Kirkman Road extension. Remember, most guests coming to Epic Universe will be taking this ramp to get to the new park, so we're watching its progress very closely as the park cannot open until it has been completed. That's going to wrap it up for this update, but a huge thank you to BioReconstruct for the amazing aerial photographs. You can follow him on social media for more theme park photos. Be sure to leave a like on this video and comment if you're enjoying our coverage of the new park. And make sure you're subscribed to never miss an update. For even more information, as well as behind-the-scenes posts, your name in the credits, and more, consider joining our Patreon to support what we do. Patreon.com/themeparkstop. Thanks for watching. See you next time.